Okay, let's work on script 3A now. We're going to learn about one more band of this global surface water dataset. This one is quite interesting, and you can create some really interesting visualizations and can get really good insights out of this. The transition band is provides you a classification of the pixel based on what happened between the first and the last year of the dataset. So this dataset goes from 1984 to 2021. So if you just take those 2 years and compare them and say what happened between those two, and you'll get those change categories as a ready-to-use data layer. You get this different categories. If there was no change, it's no change. If something was a seasonal water that now became permanent, it will be a new permanent. If there was no water there and it's now a seasonal water, it'll be new seasonal and so on. Right? So you can get these different categories. So you can select those pixels which underwent this particular transition. Let's look at the dataset documentation. We have worked with quite a few bands here. Now we're going to work with the transition band. The transition band documentation is here. So you can see this is the transition class table that is given here. If you load the image, you'll see the pixel values will be from 0 to 10. Each value has a special meaning that is defined here. So we're going to use this to say, I want to find all water bodies that were lost during this 38 period. So if you're trying to study how urbanization caused loss of lakes, or you want to see how the rivers change its course and so on, this will be quite helpful where you say, I want to know all the places that were water in 1984, which are no longer water. So can we find that easily? So what we want to do is we want to find all water which are either lost permanent. So it was a permanent water and it's now lost. So we want all pixel values that are 3, or we want to find all pixel values which are 6. So maybe there was a seasonal water which is also lost. So if we can select these 2 pixel values where there was either pixel value 3, lost permanent, or pixel value 6 from this band, we'll be able to display and see the lost water. So let's try this. So we have this water body. Let's say we want to select all pixels with lost water. So we want to select 3, which is lost permanent, and 6, lost seasonal. So we'll say, I'll define it, new variable, we'll say water. Now, can somebody help me write the code to do this? What can I do? How do we select all pixels which are pixel value 3? So we can say water EQ3. So select all pixels which are 3. You also want to select all pixels which are 6. And we want to say either or, right? You want either 3 or 6. So we need to combine them using the OR operator. Okay. So the syntax is a bit tricky. The conditional operators don't have a way to keep a list. You can do it one at a time. So we'll say select all pixels where water equals 3 or water equals 6. Okay. Let's do our viz params. Here we'll do 0 and 1. We again get a binary image when we do these conditions, and we can do a palette saying I want white to red. Red will be the loss thing, and we can add it to the map. And this is kind of useful to do in a city like the city of Bangalore. A huge problem on lost lakes. You can see all of this water bodies are lost since 1984. So how do we want to see? You can still see the white here, because again, we're not self-masked it. You can just apply self-mask. Typically, you'll see people's code that they just do self-mask just when display for better visualization. So you can now see these are all the water bodies that were permanent or seasonal water before, and now it's lost. There's a question to show lost seasonal. Well, you can just do this, right? I want just lost seasonal to be water equals 6. This is just lost seasonal. So not just permanent water, but it's lost. How do we know when the water got lost? So this particular data layer is just, from between the first to last year, this happened. When did it happen? If you want to know, we can use the yearly or monthly data set, which we'll explore shortly, where you have the monthly water history or a yearly water history. And you can use this to say when exactly the water happened. We also have a script in the supplement where we can take this and say, I have a region, tell me exactly on what year the water was lost at each pixel. And you can visualize that and you can export that as well. Yeah, so this one is just kind of, you can consider this as a helper data set. If you want to know, tell me everything that was lost, one line of code, you get the results. If you want a more nuanced thing, I really want to know what happened between 1990 and 2000. Well, you will cover the yearly data sets. You can do this yourself. All right, let's do an exercise which asks you to do the opposite of this.